To remove the lens cap, squeeze the two front buttons and remove the cap. To replace the cap, place the cap back on while the buttons are squeezed, then release. The lens's ring closer to the camera is for zooming, and the ring at the end of the lens is for focusing. You can choose autofocus or manual focus. Slide the switch to MF for manual focus, or back to AF for autofocus. The stabilizer is built into the lens. Make sure this is on when you're doing any handheld filming. This will stabilize your shot. The lock switch on the lens will keep the lens from accidentally zooming in or out. If you can't zoom the lens, make sure this is unlocked. To change the camera mode, press the central button in the wheel. While that is pressed, spin the wheel to choose your mode. You can film in manual mode or auto mode. For this tutorial, we recommend using the green auto mode. Make sure it lines up with the white dot. Switch the camera on, open up the flip out screen, which you can rotate forwards and backwards for different angles, or rotate all the way around, flip back and place it back into the camera. The camera can be in photo or video mode. Slide the switch so it points down at the red video camera icon. The Q menu button is for quick menu. Press this or the button on screen to access the quick menu. The first option is the autofocus setting. Click this button. You can choose between 3 different autofocus modes: multi-zone, single, or tracking. This is best used for tracking somebody's face in an interview. The next option is your video size. You can choose Full HD, 1920 by 1080, 1080 by 720, and you can also choose different frame rates. We recommend keeping it at 1920 by 1080 at either 25 or 50 frames a second. You can also change the headphone volume. Press the arrows up and down to change the volume in your headphones. Remember that this is just headphone volume and is not actually adjusting the input volume of the microphone. To start recording, press the Start-Stop button. You'll notice the red recording icon appears. This means you're recording. Double check this every time. Press Start-Stop again to stop recording. To play back your video file, press the play button, then press the play button on the screen. Your video will automatically start to play. You can tap the screen to see more options, and press the menu button to return back. When the play icon is on screen, that means you're free to delete your file by pressing the rubbish bin icon, then navigate over to Erase. Press the Set button, and your file's erased. Sometimes you may need to push the Info button. If you don't see all the information on the screen that you need, you may need to toggle Info 1, 2, or 3 times to get the information on screen that you need. After a period of time, your camera may go into standby mode. To exit out of standby mode, just press once on the shutter button on the front of the camera. When using headphones to monitor your audio while recording, pull down the rubber cover, revealing the microphone and headphone ports. The microphone port is on top and the headphone is on the bottom. Plug in the headphone jack into the bottom port and make sure it does the final click into place. To turn on the Rode shotgun microphone, go to the back of the microphone and slide the slider to the middle position. The green light will indicate that the microphone is on. If there is a red light, you need to change the battery. The bottom of the Rode microphone has a spinning wheel. Spin this so it lifts up to leave a small gap between the shoe. To mount the Rode shotgun onto the Canon 80D, slide the shoe into the hot shoe on top of the camera. Spin the wheel clockwise until it grips down on the hot shoe. Make sure it's secure. To plug in the microphone, plug this into the top microphone port and make sure it clicks into place. If you're using the shotgun microphone on the boom pole, you'll need to extend the microphone input cable. Use the included extension cable and make sure you plug them both together until they click. Now you can plug the end of the extension cable into the microphone port. Make sure it clicks into place. To transfer files from the 80D, you'll need the USB cord included. Open up the USB cover flap. Plug in the USB cable. Plug in the other end of your USB cable to your computer. Switch on the Canon 80D. Your PC may take a moment to set up the device, and then the 80D should appear as an external drive. To locate your files, click on Canon EOS 80D, double-click the SD drive, double-click DCIM, 100 Canon, and here your files are. Now to transfer these files, we recommend creating a new folder. I'll call this one Footage. Open this folder up. and you're going to highlight and drag over to your new folder to copy your files. Once these are done, before testing, close down the original folder, turn off your camera to unmount it, and now double check these files have worked and actually copied over safely. Double click to preview, and we recommend going through all of the files that you've dragged over to make sure they copy and pasted completely. This is important so that if any file did not work or is corrupt, you can try copying it from the camera again before you delete it from the camera. Then unplug the USB from the PC and from the Canon. This USB cable process may not work when using an Apple computer. Instead, you'll need to use the SD card. Before ejecting the SD card, make sure to turn off the camera. When the screen is off, you can slide open the SD card door. Press the SD card and it will spring out and remove gently. Using your built-in SD card reader or an external SD card reader, slide in the SD card. Locate the SD card in your file browser. Double-click the SD drive. Double-click DCIM, 100 Canon, and here your files are. Now to transfer these files, we recommend creating a new folder. I'll call this one Footage. Open this folder up, and you're going to highlight and drag over to your new folder to copy your files. And as before, double check to make sure all your files have copied safely. Remove the SD card from the card reader. To insert the SD card, press it in once and it will spring clip into place. Slide close the SD card door. When working with an SD card, sometimes the lock switch can accidentally be locked. The down position next to the tiny triangular arrow indicates that the card is locked and it cannot record photo or video. So when you put the card back in the camera to use, make sure the lock switch is up and this indicates it's unlocked. Formatting the SD card erases all of the files on the SD card. I recommend not doing this until you have confirmed that all of your video clips have copied safely. Press the menu button once. Then navigate over to the wrench icon. Go to item 1 and choose Format Card and press Set. Navigate to OK and press the Set button. And the ADD will format the card. The card is now empty of all files. Press Menu once more. If you have a low battery in the Rode shotgun microphone, you'll need to change the battery. To access the battery, press in and upward into the microphone to release the battery hatch. Flip this hatch out of the way and remove the battery. The battery for this shotgun microphone is a 9-volt battery. Replace with a new battery, making sure that the positive and negative are set this way, positive on top and negative on the bottom. Push the 9-volt battery in. Close the battery hatch by pushing up into the microphone, pressing inwards towards the battery, and making sure the clips fall into place.